Again, it says here, in Lagos, Murtala Mohammed once more found himself rallying to help clear the mess that Gowon seemed to be getting the country into with his soft approach to the problem of Ojukwu. In Ibadan, some people were already preparing the songs of welcome for the Army of Liberation. Which people? While others screamed over the radio, insisting that the West must not be used as a battleground for the contest between the East and the North. By this time, Wole Soyinka had stopped contacting Banjo from the telephone in his house on the university campus. He had found a telephone that worked in one of the unused government houses somewhere in Agodi. Oh, they had not picked him up yet, but he's not able to reach him. Let's just continue, because somewhere in this story, you hear the name Jimmy Sholanke, the same Uncle Jimmy. But let's continue. He says what he wanted to know was when Banjo would arrive. When will Banjo arrive in the West? What Banjo wanted to know was the nature of his welcome if he went to the West. So, Soyinka wanted to know when Banjo would arrive. Banjo wanted to know what would be the nature of his welcome if he went into the West. At this point, they have not been able to get across to each other. The two questions were unheard by the parties to this dialogue as the lines were not clear, and so no answers could be given to either question. Soyinka waited in Ibadan, and Banjo waited in Benin, and Ojukwu losing his temper in Enugu. Soyinka then placed Jimmy Sholanke, an actor-musician colleague, by the side of this telephone with a specific message for Sholanke to relay to Banjo. And this is the message. Unless you give specific instructions by tomorrow night, the doctor cannot. The doctor will not perform the operation and your old man will die. You are the only person who can do anything about it. The doctor has submitted his report and there has to be an operation. You must give instructions for the operation or else it will not be done. It's a coded message I meant. Jimmy Sholanke sat by the telephone for almost 24 hours, but it never rang. In the meantime, Ojukwu called Victor Banjo back to Enugu to inquire what kept him in Benin. The Midwest and the Biafran army disintegrated with the active support of the local population. We already know why they disintegrated, because of what happened there. We read that yesterday, how they were killing people, stealing their stuff, raping women. Who are the people? Biafran soldiers. Looting houses, selling properties, taking cars, killing folks. So it says the Midwest and the Biafran army disintegrated with the active support of the local population. Suddenly, signs such as Uroboman lives here, Benin man's shop, and one Nigeria appeared in front of buildings like the protective smear of Passover blood, which demarcated the doors of the Jews and protected them from the angel of death. So that those who suffered most were the poorer Igbo men and women and their children who could not find transport back into Biafra. Since the Biafran soldiers had commandeered all transport vehicles to get themselves and their booty back to their headquarters in Biafra, by September 20, 1967, the federal forces had driven the Biafran forces out of the Midwest. This was the first major setback that the Biafrans were to suffer in the process of the Civil War. Years afterwards, it was said that the federal soldiers kept civil service office hours fighting between 7:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. on weekdays and half day on Saturdays. That the armies on both sides fraternized across the lines, going to play football with one another until, I want to read that slowly. That the armies on both sides fraternized across the lines, going to play football with one another until Ojukwu ordered some federal soldiers who had come to play with his own soldiers to be executed.